with me, guys. I'll be with you in a bit with a bit of luck. I'm just looking for a few bits to get started. Smooth. Okay, so that smooth transition worked, and just tilt the laptop a little bit back so that it's not. I should have probably I did lower the tripod on the camera a little bit, but maybe that sort of backfires. I can't quite see. Hang on, let me just hover over something, but Alright, so I think that should be all good. I'll just have that at the ready and have the transition just in case, you know, something does happen. But there we have it. So I have absolutely no idea how many people are actually watching the stream. In fact, I'll just turn the volume up a little bit so I can hear any alerts. But whoever is watching, and if you are in the chat, let me know. Hello. So indeed, I'm here. So as you can probably tell, there are. I'm not quite in. You can probably see that I've got a dressing gown on, and I have. You can't quite see as much fluff as there normally would be in the in previous streams that I've done this in previous years. But basically, I wasn't really going to say anything because how dedicated I am to the magic. But because of complications that I've had with the new body, which is being arranged as we speak, it means I'm not able to show off the full fluff for this stream. In other words, basically the side effects from the new Bodicinal haven't worn off, and for those who are familiar with what that was, to be honest, I've been a little bit skeptical because I don't really like to use the term partial, but yeah, indeed, 6 years as a husky, and it's scary. It's actually really scary how fast that time has come. But I was a bit skeptical of doing it like this because I didn't think it would look good. But since I've worn a dressing gown in some of the other pictures that you may have seen, me basically not being a morning husky and having my tea at the ready, it just, this fit just made a lot of sense. But anyway, it's really, really just terrifying how life just comes at you fast. For example, for those that don't know why I do this, the 30th of April, in particular 2020, literally during the first lockdown in the UK, I opened a box and took a swig of something, and I started looking like this. And fair to say, it's been a very, very incredible journey and a lot of incredible experiences that I have definitely had along the way. And it does make me wonder, had it not been for this, would I have had the experiences that I would have had? Yeah, there's quite a lot to unpack, so tell me about it. Closing in on 9 years now. Oh my god, is that how long it's been for you, Zuko? Wow. Man, I know people who have been on it for 15 years and some even 20 years, and they're still going, which is amazing. And the commitment to that, you got to have so much admiration for, because it is so much. So hello, we've got Ataki Take Motto 5095. Thank you so much, Benjamin Butler. Thank you so much for joining. But yeah, in terms of how this stream actually goes down, if there's like anything you feel you want to kind of like fire in my way, because I want to take this moment to interact with a lot of you guys, and that's mainly sort of like the whole point of doing the show is just partially to celebrate how long it's been since I've been a big dog, and it's become a tradition like every day on this date, and yeah, feels like it's only been like 4 or 5, but 9 and a whole decade next year. Insane. Yeah, it's it'll be interesting because I do think about how far I can go in terms of like what will it be like when it will be 10, because 2030 will be 10 years since all of this began, and so it's scary how like talking about how fast the time comes. Just for the weekend, 2026 marks 10 years since the very first one. In fact, I do have my badge. I've been rearranging my badges, but I don't really want to show off my I don't really want to show off the clothes that I would wear at times when I am not a dog, because they could be classed as identifiable, characteristics. So I do get a little bit funny about that. But in that wardrobe is where I've been hanging my convention badges. So just for the weekend, unfortunately, the company behind it dissolved in June last year, and it was actually quite sad because just for the weekend is still to this day a convention that holds really close to my heart, and I feel like realistically we needed that con more now than ever before, especially with how like I don't know if anybody has been keeping an eye on what's been going with ScotiaCon, but ScotiaCon in particular has grown at such an exponential rate. It is very, very, very tiring, because I think when it first moved into the Crown Plaza, it was like in the close proximity of 500 and something attendees. In 2023, it was 993. Then in 2024, it was in the range of 1,600. It was in the range of 1,100 and something. In 2025, it was just over 1,600, and I believe, if I recall correctly, this year's ScotiaCon just gone has surpassed like 2,500 attendees. So it's really, really mad, because ScotiaCon has been, I think at the rate things are going at, I'm not even going to be surprised in the slightest if ScotiaCon ends up outgrowing Confuzzled, which, given the venue it's at, but they are, because I think with ScotiaCon, they are at least adapting to the, actually, just the thought, bear with me, because I just realised I completely forgot to plug this stream. So I'll leave the audio, you know, I just realised that was because I realised that it cut out the. Actually, is it still? Okay, so that's good. So it hasn't altered any of the settings. But also because OBS as well has been. Yeah, that'll have to do. I can't be bothered to take another one. So OBS has been very interesting because my Lenovo all-in-one. For those who didn't catch me on the Twitch stream, my Lenovo PC, actually, there's just one thing I want to... Somebody's actually watching. Okay, so that's just 2, is it? Is it? If anybody else is actually watching... Yeah, so the thing I was trying to say was, so OBS has been very temperamental today. So first it was having issues with trying to get the action camera to work with the streaming software, and then the microphone settings just kept adjusting themselves for some weird reason. Also, because of how Google has been recently, I actually can't. I can read the live chat fine in OBS, but the problem is I can't log into it. So I'm reading the chat unlogged. So thankfully I've got Zuko in, because Zuko is a moderator. So he'll be able to keep everything in check just in case something actually does happen. But what's also, no, I don't want to airdrops. Just kind of keeping in check. Yeah, so I would normally stream this on a Lenovo PC, but that's the Lenovo, it's literally just behind. In fact, I don't really want to turn the camera around just in case it's right, I'll just have to take a gamble. So it's not quite the setup I would normally use, and I'm not able to show off as much fluff as usual, but I'm live on YouTube to celebrate 6 years of Fluff, exclamation mark. just sorry, bear with me, guys. I just. Come join me on YouTube for the fun! Exclamation mark. Do you know, see, this is. Do you know what? I was trying to remember to do this literally just before the stream started, but I do. Let me just read that and see what that says. But what if I do something horrible like barking at you? Nobody's gonna be able to stop me. I'm not going to be able to hear you though. That's the thing. So do you think you barking down your end? I'm not going to be able to hear a thing. Right, hang on. If you right, that's weird. I've just had somebody. So I just had a sign-in attempt on That's 5 minutes. I'll check them out. Really. So unless I type out the barks, it's just text. So I can very easily just gloss over that. Right. So I'll just copy the link. But yeah, overall, in terms of the MacBook Pro, it's actually been going down really, really well. I would normally like to use the Windows just because of the sake of having something particular set up for streaming. But probably after I'm done with this, I might use this system for Twitch. That's depending on what other solutions I can find. But I just hope that this stream doesn't end up being so much of a car crash, because I was a little bit... Okay, so there's 7 watching. So if you haven't actually made yourself known in the chat, feel free to do so. And if there's any questions you do want to ask, I'm practically open to it. So I'll just pause that. Copy the links there. So I just... should have really changed it. There we go. Okay, well that's better. So I'll copy the link from YouTube. I'll just put it into my... Actually, there's one thing I do want to do. Just put it in a group chat that I'm in. What is the time actually? So it's okay. So it's 10:47, and I do not like the look of that link. It's funny how in the Twitch stream earlier I was saying that I was skeptical of the I was so skeptical of the number 13. But if there was any, if you want to ask, or if there was anything you would like to chat about, feel free to fire away, because I kind of want to take this as an opportunity to sort of like interact with my audience a lot more. So hi, Happy Eddie. Eddie, thank you so much for joining. I'm just taking care of a couple of things on socials, because before I should have remembered to do this before the stream started, but unfortunately I forgot. I guess that's what ADHD is like, and I said this on Twitch a couple of days earlier, but I do need to get myself tested for that. Right, so that's put it on Blue Sky. I just want to check to make sure it posted on Twitter, okay? And I will probably I may mention this the other day, but yeah, Twitter is literally the only thing that I will dead name forever. Right, so Blue Sky, there's just one other platform just for good measure, just for the sake of archiving. Right, so hopefully, now that I post it on socials, I'll be able to get the word out there, and hopefully we'll be able to get more people watching this. In fact, what I might do is yeah, that's another thing I can do. So one of the things I also love as well, with Blue Sky, there's a thing that they do is you can put out when you're going live, and it will show the red live icon on your profile picture. Okay, so I should have probably waited for the... Okay, so I didn't really need to do that, so that's all good. So one last thing I just want to do on Blue Sky. But yeah, so who have we got watching? We've got Benjamin, we've got Otaki, we've got Zuko, we've got Eddie. I'll close down my Twitch because I don't need that open for now. No Watch Mojo UK. I do not want to watch top 10 TV scandals. Not interested. So actually, probably just the better check to make sure the actual the link works. Okay, so yes, it does work, which is good. So in fact, actually, just bear with me because I might need to. I'll be back in a little bit. Right, so So sorry about that. Just had to take care of a few things on social, and also so yeah. So that's me. I think I'm going to be done with the phone throughout the whole of the rest of the stream. So that's So I'm just going to throw that over to the bed. So I don't want to end up being distracted by that. So oh, my dressing gown is like running up a little bit tight. So it's weird because I only bought this literally a couple of days ago, and it's a bit of I didn't realise what it was until after I bought it. But turns out this is an Egyptian cotton dressing gown, which is a little bit disappointing because that stuff tends to not be expandable. It tends to not be so stretchy, and it's a little bit of a weird fit. And this was the largest size of this particular gown that I could end up getting. But I guess the black dressing gown, which is over there, I've got that on hand just as a backup. But this one, I think definitely, well, because it's blue, definitely I think is a better look for me personally. But anyway, I wish. That is a little bit disappointing, yeah. But it's due to complications with the new body. I haven't been able to, unfortunately. So I wasn't gonna do the stream originally, but then I just thought, fuck it. If I don't actually do it now, I probably won't ever do it. And I'm fidgeting with that stylus, so I'll just push that away further from me. So yeah, this isn't quite the way I really wanted to be doing the stream, and it's the first time I'm actually trying it on the MacBook Pro, because last time I was using the Air. I'm blue. Somebody had to throw in there at some point. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. But who else is? The thing is, I actually can't quite see numbers, because the thing is, because OBS isn't actually letting me. All right, so that's actually helpful. So we are at. So the CPU is at 10.4%. The speed is 2,670 kilobits per second. No frame rate drops, which is good. And the stream is at full 60 frames per second, which I was barely able to achieve that on the Lenovo, but hopefully that will be the case once I've got RAM fitted in that, and I've got a new SSD in that. I went from a hard disk drive to a solid state drive, so it should be a lot faster, more better performing than what it was previously. Unfortunately, it won't turn on, which is a bit annoying. Well, it's very annoying actually, because there's so much I want to do on that computer, but I'm having to be very wary with where I take it, because one of the things I don't really want to end up doing, because I don't want to end up taking it to basically what we call a cowboy computer builder. So cowboy computer builders, they use shady practices, they're unethical, they try to hound you out of hundreds if not thousands of pounds. So I'm having to be careful, and I'm seeing who's nearby in the area to see if there is anybody who is actually quite reputable and would in fact be able to help fix the machine, because at the moment it's not. Well, I've been streaming for 35 minutes, which actually isn't too bad. But yeah, but I don't exactly know how long the stream. But if anybody is in here that has just joined us, if anybody is joined on the stream just like just now, or hasn't made themselves known, yeah, feel free to do so in the chat. Because I want to try and engage with you guys a lot more. So if there's anything you do want to throw away in that chat, I'd love to hear from you. This is what I was. This is what I was really worried about. Dead air. Because I thought, I'm gonna fire up the stream anyway, just see how it goes. But I don't know if anybody doesn't. So thanks, Eddie. I think. Yeah, because Guppers was asking me a few questions about it. Guppers I know is good with computers, and I have been hearing that he's been good with data recovery. In fact, I've literally just found a micro SD card that I've been meaning to hand to him. I've been talking that way because I've been talking into the microphone. I don't know why I'm looking there. But yeah, Guppers is good with computers. So maybe that's the case because I think the issue with the Lenovo, which is behind the webcam at the moment, it's the more than anything, it's likely to be an issue with the motherboard because at first we thought it was okay. The power supply for some reason just decided to die, or maybe that could have potentially have done something to the computer because what happens is the computer just the power supply originally originally checking on my laundry, okay, wish you luck with taking care of that. But yeah, the Lenovo computer, so the first it was the power supply which went bust, so we went to bought a new one, then tried it on the computer, but now the Lenovo, it's an all-in-one and it just will not turn on at all. I put that there's like I've got literally nothing coming out of it, and full disclosure, that was actually an issue before I even put the new SSD and before I put in the new RAM. Which, speaking of RAM, it is. I was gonna do for things. I was gonna put in 2 lots of I can't remember how much it was I put in. I think I put in 2 lots of people's in there. I can't quite show off the feet paws at the moment because a little bit. I'm not really willing to show the bottom of my feet because of the side effects from the new bod. There's a thing I've got going on because the new bodice has been a like a transitional phrase. Has been a sort of like a transitional story between the new body and between the previous cacti body and the current what's officially now the current body. Let's just put it to speak. But that's there's still a few issues being resolved. But hopefully I will very soon be able to reveal all on what everything I've been posting on socials has been meaning. But feet paws are really, really good. The thing is, this is what I was. To be honest, I haven't really quite fully prepared myself because in terms of I don't really want to just pick a random topic off my head and then it just doesn't really become an interesting thing for the chat because I want to kind of I feel like I need a bit of input from you guys, which is why I do try to ask if you do want to fire anything away, like if you do want to ask me anything, then that's something I kind of want to help fire in the chat. So they make the best slippers in winter and also quite snuggable. Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can agree with you on that, Zuka, 100%. But also having like feet paws a bit probably. Oh Jesus, what's this? Oh, it's 4K downloader, so that's nothing important. But my favourite part about feet paws. Just the beans. Fortunately, I can't quite show off my beans right now because it's a bit of an awkward thing going on. Because I don't really want to show off because if I don't, the thing I'm trying to because of what's been going on, I don't really want to show because this is all I really want to show on the stream, which is what I've had to be careful. I want to be careful on. Have I done a volume 11? Sorry, just give me a moment. But the thing about not showing anything below this is because of basically the transitional phase hasn't really started it off yet. So I'm just not willing to show the lower parts of this body. And if you have shown. I think if you've seen the posts I've been making on socials doing this, which by the way I have restricted to, I have been like very restricted and I've marked it as sensitive because I don't want the wrong people to end up seeing it. But But let's just see what Zuko says. Figure. You already know what I'm going to ask. Why aren't you in my bed and why aren't we snuggling yet? Because I can't afford to travel at the moment, Zuko. I do. Do you know what the thing is? I really do. I'll have to see if there's anything that's going on near your way, because there might be a few things. Because I do want to go over to Germany for a few things, but from where you are, I want to see if anything goes on. Then maybe I could use that as an excuse to come around yours, and then Snugs and so much other things may happen in that as well. But yeah, Benjamin Butler mentioned something about Harry does TikTok Volume 11. Have I done one of those yet? I think I've cause I think I've gone far as 10. I think I know. I can imagine you just basically saying that like I know. Don't worry about it too much, dog. But also, what's interesting, Zuko, I heard you saying something about how Snugs in person may be a thing that may happen later this year. So if it is what I think it is, I know that there's probably not a lot you can reveal about it, but I'm actually very, very curious what you meant by that, because I know I know you've been longing to get yourself over here for a long time now. In fact, have you actually been to the UK before, Zuko? I think you might have told me about it, but I've forgotten so much. But anyway, so also if you just joined in, welcome. Let yourself known, be in chat, and we'll see where things go from here. Because I thought I'd just set this thing up, hit the start button, and just see what will happen. The thing is it the thing you talked to me about last year? Yes. I might have gotten buried. In fact, what I'll do is I always wanted to. Oh God, Eddie, trust me when I say that is one of the best feelings you'll ever haven't been to the UK since 2015. Oh wow, so 11 years since your last visit here. But yeah, Zuko, I'll have to check through the messages on Telegram to see if it is the thing that I may have told you about. I've yet to hug. Well, let's check that. That's another dream. Eddie, do you actually go to any cons? Because I'm pretty sure that somebody going there. Sammy's here. Oh, you have a paper and pencil, of course. So I'm not actually drawing. So basically, what this is, this is actually a stylus to This is a stylus to just so I could, because the thing is, because I can't operate a laptop pad with these paws, and because if I try to, just nothing go. Even if I had claws, it wouldn't do anything. So what I've got, although apparently there are claws you can use to operate your phone, so I might have to look at those getting implanted somehow. But I have to use basically this to control to actually be able to use the cursor. So I've actually got this. Lies, you were 100% about to draw. If I tried drawing, it would just be like, believe me when I say the results would just be absolutely terrible. But hello to Gavin Astral. Thank you so much for joining in. Welcome. I keep seeing you on stream, and every time it's when I'm at work, but I'm not at work. So also hi. I like yours and posts. Thank you so much, Astra. Oh no, so Gavin Astra. Sorry. So I have to do a double check because my vision's a little bit weird. But thank you so much for joining. Glad that you were able to make it to one of. Also, my I just realised that my Blue Yeti is redlining. I probably have to turn the game Let's try that. I think. Yeah. Sorry, I just realised my blue. Now you've got to prove that. The thing is, I don't actually have. Okay, you know what? This is funny enough. I only have. This is the only bit of paper. Well, I've got Christmas cards up there, but I don't want to. I'm not touching that. I have this taped on my door. I completely forgot to do it, so I did have somebody walking in during all the Twitch that, but they did suggest. But I'm not going. But yeah, I will not be drawing because Okay, so what are you saying? Okay, so what you're saying is digital art stream. Basically, what this is, Sammy? This is just basically a just chatting stream, and it is I don't know if it picked up from the imagery, but basically all this is just basically celebrating 6 years since the very first time I ended up being a big husky, because it was on this day 6 years ago, the 30th of April, where a big box turned up at my address and was I think I posted. I may have included like a little, a few photos from the story I had going, where I drank a bottle. There was a weird potion. It said "drink me." I drank it. I fainted on the floor. I woke up and I ended up being a big dog suddenly. So that's kind of the story I wanted to have going, as like some kind of transition. Like I kind of wanted to have a good backstory, because is the thing, because of how dedicated I am, because I know that it's kind of going out of fashion to be dedicated to the magic, but I'm not one of those people. I do try to get a bit of a story going, like anything that involves stuff like this. I do want there to be a background story or some form of explanation to it. A little bit of indigestion there. So I didn't know you were a So TF, I'm not actually hugely into, and it's not something that I okay. I do appreciate TF, but I'm not like a fan of. I'm not necessarily a fan of TS himself. I do appreciate it and understand it, and can sort of get behind it, but it's not something that I'm incredibly attached to. So it's just because obviously people do have their interests and other things. I had to be a bit careful avoiding any grey areas there. But yeah, TF is not something I am actually hugely into. It's just I guess in this circumstance it actually counts as a TF. But yeah, trying to think what. Oh yeah, also the other thing. Funny enough, with Sammy joining the chat, there is something that maybe I might do this by the next stream with a bit of luck. But the super curl piece that Sammy did, I've actually been longing to get that printed on canvas and have it hung up on the wall behind my bed. Actually, I don't know if I can actually share my desktop. Let me just see. I'll tell you what I can do. Yes. Okay, so that. So do you know what's funny? Yeah. Okay. All right. So this should work. So I'll be able to show off the piece that Sammy did. I've shown it briefly on Benjamin, but I've been a while from Harry to do an ASMR video on his ASMR channel. Oh my god, that's do you know what? Time and time again, admittedly, I completely forget that that's even a thing. Okay, so I've selected the image. Hopefully this works. Okay, so what has just... Alright, I've seen what it's done. But it's done this thing where it's... Cancel that. Oh, so that's why. So I selected... Right, so just hop into the just chatting stream. So let's try it again. Image. Sorry, I didn't really properly look into this before the before. In fact, I've never actually properly looked into doing this, so God knows what's gonna happen. But yeah, this is okay. So I've got part of it like showing up. Let's just try. Is it actually showing up on the stream? Okay, that's right. I did not mean to do that. So it's I'm having to resize it, which is interesting. In fact, just curious because I'm getting confused with the preview and the program. Can you actually see the image on the screen at the moment? In fact, I'll while I'm doing that, I just want to double check on okay, so that's an easier way of accessing it. So all right, so I actually can't. Right, so that's good because I was a bit worried that some stuff has okay, so that's good. That's brilliant. So I haven't got preview confused with program because I was a bit worried that I had the two very confused. So just seeing how it looks on the. Right, hopefully this should work. All right, so I've done this thing in the past where I've basically shown the piece that Sammy did on a phone screen, but I've not like properly shown it. So with a bit of luck, if I can transition over to it, this is the piece. It worked. So yeah, that was So yeah, that's the piece that Sammy was responsible. In fact, I'll try I'll resize that just a little bit so you can see it. Hang on. Hello. See transition. So yeah, so I'm gonna come to the right a little bit, but yeah, this is the piece that this is coming. I think this will be like 3 years old in the summer, but it is still to this day my all time favorite piece of art that piece of art that I've ever commissioned. And yeah, because I've been loving because I was loving Sammy's work, and I was not longing to get something from them. I'll just move that down a little bit because it's just a bit. It's getting in the bit of the way of the overlays. Okay, so actually maybe I'm a bit off moving the other way up like that. Right, so hopefully that works. That's okay. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, so okay, so that's so who else? So we've got Young Money 2003. Hello, thank you so much for joining, and Damien Kurtz. Hello, thank you so much for joining. But yeah, because one of the things I really want to do with this, because I might in fact, Sammy, if you are still watching this, I might come to you for a few for maybe a couple of art pieces in this outfit. And there's that YCH that I want to get off to you, but because I want to take a bit of a different approach, and also I want to get one of those YCHs with you, but with undies involved, because I just feel that a lot of things are a lot better when there is definitely undies involved in my case. But yeah, that's the piece from Sammy. In fact, there was another piece that Sammy also did. I want to see if I can actually get it loaded up. Let's try. Oh, convenient. Okay, let's just hope this works. Okay, well that's not quite. I didn't really want to show the PNG because it doesn't really show the art in all of its glory. Okay. So it's... But yeah, Sammy also did. I'll just resize it and transition. Trip! Hello! Oh my god, Trip, thank you so much for doing... Oh god, this dog go! Trip, welcome into the... Welcome in. Yeah, so, Trip, myself and Trip have been in conversations about, there's an activity that me and him would like, oh hey, I spy a wild dog, you do indeed. So I got, but yeah, this was the other piece so this was a YCH that Sammy did, and I think it perfectly illustrates the fact that, I walk in, hey, you're in your underwear. I was like, I know, I just feel more comfortable like this. So, see that perfectly. So I think I'll try and just want to see what this was. So get rid of the images. And now that we've shown that, let's fade that out. And we're back. So, what was the other thing I was going to do? So myself and such good art. Yeah. So it is indeed because I believe is Sammy still with us? Because Sammy, the artist behind it, was in the chat earlier and watching. Hope he's still in. But the thing about Sammy is I'm actually writing for those who don't know, I'm actually writing a book based on the Oh yeah, I'm glad that Sammy's so yeah. That kind of clothing is really comfortable. Yeah, I will 100% with you on that. It's just a shame that Also, hello to Ride the Roller Coaster Marcus 1994. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining in. So we got a fellow roller coaster rider in the chat by the looks of it. But yeah, underwear is definitely very comfortable clothing. It's just a shame that that just wearing underwear in modern society is just like very frowned upon, because even at one convention, I won't say the name of the convention, just for their sake, but because the theme was verging on comic books, I did ask about wearing my superhero underwear costume, with the sneakers, the underwear, the cape, and the eye mask. And when I messaged welfare, they basically said no, and they wouldn't even allow a swimsuit, which was weird. And the only circumstance they would let me do that was with really, really baggy shorts. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to be the look I wanted. So I did end up doing the superhero outfit in the end, but it just had to be, with shorts and shorts, like the eye mask and the cape went hand in hand and fitted well. Just move in with me. You can wear it 99% of the time. That, did you know what? You know what, Zuko? I love the sound of that. Just spending most of the day in just have a husky walking around the house in his underwear. Mind you, it's not just because the thing is, the two I feel really, really go in hand is tank top plus underwear. Furcons are too political correct. I don't really think that's much of a political correctness issue. It's just I find it, I do kind of get it, because in terms of underwear, basic like clothing decency. But the thing I can't wrap my head around is with a swimsuit. Because, okay, in fairness, you wouldn't walk around a hotel in just a swimsuit, but if it was a swimming pool, then I completely understand that. But that's the major worry. Actually, because the only event, in fact, while it's just crossed my mind, the only event I can think of where I would be able to wear underwear was Pawsome, which takes place in Gloucester. But the thing about that convention is I've decided to take a bit of a step back from it. And that's purely because I want somebody who in hang on, what was that? What did Chip just say? Might as well ban the entire beach scene. I mean, that's with the actual, because speaking of which, I use this argument for you see nipples, and hear me out. I'll explain why I'm bringing nipples into this. So nipples you see on the beach, and nipples you see at swimming pools, and sometimes you will see the occasional nipples if somebody needs their shirt removed for medical attention. But the thing I don't understand is that if there's certain events and dances at conventions where you can be shirtless, the thing I don't understand is that your nipples have to be covered regardless of gender identity, and unless there's I'm trying to, I haven't really properly looked into this, so there has to be a very logical explanation for that, because if you go to a beach, you go to swimming pools, or just straight up the entire nipple jump scare. Oh god, Trip! There's a group chat that I was in, and somebody I can't really reveal too much, but there was a shirtless photo of another member of the group posted, and somebody photoshopped just lots and lots and lots of nipples all over them. And I just used if anyone has seen Diane Morgan's work as familiar Kunk. Kunk on Life was the mockumentary that she ended up doing. So I just saw that, and I just put the video of Kunk saying, "What the fuck is this?" Because it's like that's literally like the only response I could ever have to that. Yeah, I thought it was more than anything. I just thought it was cursed than anything actually disgusting. But because the thing is, there's a thing that there is actually a thing that me and Trip actually like, and there's one thing that me and Trip actually have in common, is that we both actually like having fuzzy animal people sitting on our faces. And although the difference between me and Trip, so Trip generally Trip loves Trip's. I know you can't seem to love the general idea of having fursuiters sitting on your face. Which I have from first-hand experience. I completely understand that. But for me, I probably, because I'm a little bit biased. I was trying to be positive about it. But no, because the thing is, I didn't want to. I didn't want it to be a personal attack. But the thing I was trying to say was that that's a thing that we both have. We both have going on. But yeah, the thing that replies to me, because just Trip loves the general idea of having certain fuzzy, handsome animal people just sat on one's face. For me, on the other hand, it just has to involve underwear. Let's see what the Trip that says. I mean, that's pretty much an open secret, Trip. I mean, to be fair, yeah, because he has posted caught in 4K. Unfortunately, not Sammy, because I'm not streaming this in 4K because I guess I could try, but my my streaming software and my streaming tools don't enable 4K streaming though. So at the moment, Trip has been caught in 1080p. So technically speaking, because when I first did it, I don't really want to. Thing is, I've only ever done this with one other person, and I don't really want to reveal too much as to who this is. But I the British Wi-Fi moment. In fact, actually, just funny because we've changed the service providers not that long ago. So we were with BT, but then we switched over to True Speed, and in comparison, I tell you what, the Wi-Fi now has actually been really good because BT was getting very, very, very slow, but with true speed, the Wi-Fi has actually been very, very scary. Was it Wi-Fi? British Wi-Fi. Yes, not a bit. But well, just glue 4 of your streams into a 4K monitor, boom, 4K stream. It would just be just have like all like just copy and paste having the stream in the corner. Either that or it would just look very, very pixelated. In fact, how much bigger in comparison is 4K compared to 1080p? I've never actually looked into that. But one thing I will say, the camera that I'm actually using right now, I can film 4K at 60 frames per second. The problem is, 4K at the moment takes up so much memory, and also the cameras tend to get very, very hot. And with the likes of the, I've got my, in fact, I've actually got it with me. I don't think I'll be able to take it out. Probably not. I don't know. But over there, because I've got it in a case. But the Canon, because the thing I have tried shooting 4K in mirrorless cameras. So there's a Panasonic mirrorless camera which I've got in a drawer, which I don't really want to sell that camera because I don't want it's a nice looking camera and it does function quite well. But I might need to get it cleaned out because there's a little bit of there's a bit of like black spots appearing on the screen, so I'll have to look. No, don't worry, Eddie. It's just don't worry about it too much, Eddie. You can stick around. It's just Sorry, I went a little bit off track there. So the thing I was trying to say with filming with 4K on cameras is that Panasonic mirrorless camera. So I was trying to film 4K in it, and it was in August. It was summertime, and it was actually quite hot. I haven't tried it during the winter so much, but when I was trying it during the summer, so the camera started heating up. There was a yellow warning sign that came up, and I've kind of pushed it a little bit to see how much further the camera could record. And I'm not even joking. I might have a picture of it somewhere, but it's buried somewhere. If I do still have it, it would definitely be a hard find. But there was condensation in the actual lens. So that was actually quite an interesting thing because I was worried about if something had actually potentially got inside of it, or if the moisture. Because the thing is, because I know that mirrorless cameras aren't water resistant and they aren't quite really immune from moisture, so I was a bit worried that something may have got into it. But the actual camera itself, after it cooled down, so I thought, okay, after that one, I am not filming in 4K on that camera again. Moist camera moment. Hey. Moist. Moist. Just because somebody hates the word. Moist. Also, yeah, the other thing that just actually crossed my mind was when me and Trip were discussing about I actually can't believe I'm talking about this on the stream. But me and Trip were messaging each other. Trip, I hope you don't mind me talking to the chat. Trip, I hope you're fine with me talking to the chat about this. ASMR stream where you just say moist over and over again. Hang on. Let me try. I might have to. I'll put the. Let me just put the. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this part of the stream where it is just ASMR of me saying the word moist. Hang on, let's try. Breathe dog insight. Let's just hang on. Let's just see how this sounds. Hang on. Oh god. Do you know what? I'm actually really happy with how this stream is going down because I was worried it was just going to be like dead air. You know, I'm. Let's try. Let's just go back. Hang on, hang on. Oh, wait. Does that actually make a noise when I just the microphone like that? So let's just try. So Benjamin just suggested something. Let's just see. So it's because of the microphone. Yeah, so because of the setting I've got on the microphone, I could try switching it, but my paws don't have a very good grip on the switch at the moment with the way they are. But let's say if I do it in front of the microphone, hang on. Yeah, so it probably you may let's see you make that sound really gay, Trip. Yeah, so as I was trying to say, if I oh dear, so if I try doing it in front of the microphone, it picks it up fine. So yeah, so it picks up fine. However, if I try doing it behind the microphone, yeah, so it barely picks up. Also, if I turn, what I would just want to try, I just want to see what happens if I turn the microwave. I nearly call this a microwave. What is going on? If I want to just turn the microphone around and just look at the audio monitoring and just see what comes up. Right, so I turned the microphone. Actually, the audio levels are a little bit. So turn the microphone around. It's going into the yellow zone a little bit. I have no idea what that actually sounds like. But if I just turn it back round. Okay, so that was right. Yeah. So so it is going into the yellow. It's going just above. That was put some popcorn in your microwave. I don't. Do you know? Yours weird. We go now that we're going into popcorn. Sounds like you sitting in a cardboard box now. I'm living in a box, baby. I'm living in a cardboard. I tell you what, popcorn. Do you know what's funny enough? I need to. Do you know? I need to come back to the. Oh. I want to know. I thought something happened because I noticed that my webcam was going a little bit of on the side. So yeah, popcorn stream. Trying to get popcorn into my mouth. I do end up. Thing is, I'm gonna have to end up deep throating the popcorn, or I'm just gonna have it like poured in, so it's like. Oh no! Oh no! I tried to simulate doing something, and I just realised I looked like I was doing something else. Oh no, that's. It's like within a second of doing that, it just took me to realise what I was doing. But yeah, on topic of no, God, I'm thinking I was trying to like. Okay, no, I'm not gonna do it just for the sake of it. But what I was trying to do was I was trying to simulate like shaking a bag of popcorn, trying to get it into my mouth. Like so, so it's like this is like one side of the bag, and you're just like holding it like. Look, even if I do that, it's just like, mind you, I could, if I do it like this, I could look like I'm just like shaking my hands at traffic, like waving my hands right in the air, like I just don't even, like I can't even believe it right now. So it's just, that's probably going to be a very obscure reference, but yeah. So when it comes to popcorn ASMR, that could be on the table for the ASMR channel, maybe. Thing is, I do have. Bear with me. Can I actually get? Yeah. So, funny enough, I know a lot of streamers use this microphone because the trouble is with the Blue Yeti is I could do this thing where I have the Blue Yeti for the microphone, and that was some. Sorry, what was that? That was one detail. Was I gifted it? You're welcome. Trip, what have you done? But But yeah, the thing is, because what I could do is I could have this microphone on hand, have it in front of the. Actually, I try shifting the laptop back a little bit. Are we back? Oh, that is loud. I can't. Why? Okay. Okay. Why is it so loud? Like, it's redlining so bad. I have to whisper. Let me just see what happens. Just. Okay, where's properties? Where do we go into Yeti? Alright, are we back? Is it back? Okay, so I think that's back. Yes, I just realised a few people pointing. No, because what happened was I think when I shifted the microphone, I think because the cabling may have been a little bit funny and it just sort of cut out weirdly for some strange reason. But I think the audio is back. It is. We got the audio back. So what I was Gucci. So Gucci's. Do you know what's funny? My topic of luxury brands, because some people like buy all these stuff like these Gucci belts, these Gucci shirts, these Gucci handbags, and these weird Gucci products, and I'm like, you're not even convincing me that that's even legitimate Gucci merchandise and product, because there's actually a barber literally just a short walk from my house, and they have, and I'm not even joking, Louis Vuitton barber aprons. Like, I'm not, like, why? Like, you're not even convincing me in the slightest that is a legitimate Louis Vuitton product. Then I've looked. I remember looking, and they weren't even a thing. They're not on the Louis Vuitton websites. They're not even any like Louis Vuitton official sellers. Nothing. I've only ever seen them on the likes of like eBay, Alibaba, Wish, AliExpress, you name it. Yeah, so before the audio actually cut out, I was talking about trying to get this working with the camera that I'm currently using. So, but yeah, for no reason. Yeah, I have no idea what happened then. So I could. There's probably a way of using this with the Osmo Action. In fact, I have been using audio adapters. So one thing I haven't tried is just plugging the I've not tried plugging the USB cable directly into the camera. So maybe I'll try that off stream and see what happens. I always wanted an apron. That's like cool. I'm sure that there is definitely some sellers that could arrange you with that. In fact, have you actually? I swear I swear you have done art of yourself in an apron, Sammy. Because I think that depending on the color or depending on where you are, because you're in Mexico, aren't you? Because if that's the case, I might be able to look into a few sellers for you. So anyway, so I got this out of the drawer. So with this, I can use it via USB. However, with this, so I do actually have an interface. Have I got it? Is it in that drawer? Is it? That's probably in the. Okay, I have no idea where the interface is. It's probably in a camera bag. Petting the microphone with your hand paws on your ASMR channel. That could be on the table. Just adjust it slightly so it's actually facing me a lot better. So yeah, with this I need to look into a few options, but with this, so I have got the tools to use it with a camera. I can use this with a camera because it's got an XLR input and out. It's got an XLR input, and I've got an XLR interface which I use for my DSLR camera. The trouble with this is I need to find some stands. So I know that there are these boom arms that you can get, but I'm kind of after something similar to, you know, like a table stand. So hopefully with the case, because I think I got this. I'm trying to think where I got this. I got this in 2021, and it is a very, very, very good microphone. But I just haven't used it a lot because of just how restrictive my resources have been. But yeah, because I do also hear that some streamers do use this, because I think Chrome the Dragon uses this microphone, because I saw it in his tech specs details, and yeah, it does offer really good audio quality, and maybe I could use this microphone for voiceover stuff, but I just need to look over some different interfaces. In fact, there are some XLR USB interfaces that I have looked into, but I've heard that some are not as good as others, so this at some point I will use for ASMR videos, but when, I don't know. Hopefully that will be on the table, so I'll just get back in the drawer. Safe. Okay, so yeah, so what way, I'm trying to think where it was. So I've talked about the microphone, I've talked about, oh yeah, that was the other thing I needed. So, with when ASMR Eagles, and hello to Lonely Wolf 101. Thank you so much for joining. In terms of when that will actually be a thing, or if that could actually, because the problem with doing something like that is that belly gurgles are unpredictable. Is you can't, because for me, I've not at least tried to anyway. Is that I can't have any control over when the belly gurgles, and the only thing that I've not even it's not something that I've tried. The only thing I could do is if I had just a microphone clipped to the fur on my belly, which would help capture, because I do have a lapel mic somewhere. No, there's okay, so there's a bag hanging on the door where I've got a lapel mic in, so maybe that could be a thing on the table. I'm not 100% sure on that though, because I have no idea how it sounds. And belly gurgles for me personally don't have the ASMR, because there are some ASMR triggers that I just can't get behind. I've tried listening to them, I've tried falling asleep to them, but I just kept woken up, and it's just this very weird effect on me that they have. You know, when they just go like I can't even do it myself, but it's like. Do you know what? I'm going to keep butchering that. So I'm not even going to try. Yeah, there are a lot of ASMR sounds that don't have the same effect on me. But I'll tell you what is, I'd go as far. What's that? IBS ASMR. That could probably vary, because some IBS sounds are definitely worse than others, and I've not been officially diagnosed from it, but I have had symptoms of IBS several years ago. I think I got that looked at, and the doctor said that there was nothing actually concerning, and there was no signs that I actually suffer from IBS, despite things. But the other thing I think on that note, when it came to belly related stuff, is before I started being a dog, let me tell you, I was very, very, very self-conscious about being a chunky husky, and I kind of wanted to. Well, I did put on I did start putting on the weight because I was starting to gain weight before the pandemic, and then when the pandemic happened, it really, really, really didn't help my cause, and I think that was quite a standard thing for most of us. Because the thing I noticed a lot after the pandemic was that more people gained because a lot of people gained more weight, and I saw a lot of people who weren't wearing glasses before the pandemic now wear glasses because of the amount of time that they've spent indoors and looking at screens. So who's that? Let me just double check the name of that. Cinderby. Cinderby. Am I pronouncing that right? Thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, so it's good that I'm actually able to do this because I was, you know what, I was very torn. I was debating, do I actually bother because of the complications with the new body? But you know what, I'm glad that I did, and I'm glad that I started setting up my MacBook Pro to stream on YouTube because with my computer being down, overall I've actually been getting on better with this than I actually have with my computer because with the Lenovo, it has this tendency. Okay, I start streaming, and then as soon as I try hitting the button, it all goes to pop. So that's, I think, one big blow because the MacBook Pro also with the Lenovo, because of the way it was back then. I have no idea what it is like now with the new SSD and the HDD. But the thing is, my parents said that they want to buy me a new computer, but I just completely said, Heather says, Harry, I'm sorry for the video I just sent you in the DMs. Okay, so I wasn't... Hang on a minute, I gotta... You know what, I don't normally check message during these streams, but I do want to make an exception for this, because I want to see... Okay, Trip, I have seen you sent me something. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is just because I normally check messages after the stream, but I do want to make an exception to this just to capture the live reaction. So what has... Oh my God! Trip, why? Oh shit! Oh my God! Hang on, I'll just So I'll leave a response to that after because I can't quite because my paws are not very good. In fact, hang on. Wait. I've just remembered something. Oh my God, comma, you motherfucker! Exclamation mark. Has that disabled it? Okay, that's good. So the one thing that I've actually found is really that I've actually like really effective. I really need two styluses for this. So dictation is a thing that has really saved me so much time. Let's try. I kind of want to just. I kind of felt a bit bad because I didn't really want to just see that and oh my God. Let's see. Let's see. You're legally. I'll tell you what. Trip, if you came from because if you probably came from my my Twitter or Blue Square, quote that post with the GIF, and then I'll if that's the case, I'll link it in the chat so you can see, so that those in the chat can see what. So what did Trip do? Trip, if you post the post, because I have posted about it on Twitter and Blue Sky. If you quote post those posts and uploads the GIF, probably I'll tell you what. Whether you provide context or not, I'll leave that for you to decide. But Trip, if you do that, I will leave a link to one of the posts in the I'll leave a link to one of the posts in the chat so that everybody can see what it is that Trip done. But oh my God. And I'll tell you what, you were quick on that. You were very, very, very quick on that one. I'm guessing that Trip is doing that now. just to see what the time. Okay, so the time is. Oh my god, it's nearly midnight down my end. So I'll see how long I can keep this going. But I've been streaming for about an hour and a half. So what I'll do is if while I've suggested the idea, because I think he might. I have a feeling he. Yeah, so it's a Telegram. I'll probably close that for now, just replied on Twitter. Okay, in that case, I will leave a link. Okay, so I'm logged in. I'm still logged into the YouTube chat, which is good. So let me see if I can. I'll tell you what. I love the fact that you perfectly captured the moment when I realised what it was that I had done. So let's just try to copy a link to the Actually, no, I pressed the wrong button. So, okay, copy link. So hopefully this works. So, where's my cursor gone? Try to go all the way up. Okay, there it is. So, so if I just paste that. Okay, so that should work. Just check to make sure the link is got to the right place. Okay, so that works. So if you do want to see what Trip did, I've left it in the chat. Now can I reopen? Okay, that's the wrong one. Do you know what? I'm used to using Streamlabs OBS on Twitch. I need to go back to regular OBS. So yeah. Okay, so I put this in there. So it's a little bit awkward because for those of you who don't know, is that because of the way OBS has been, in particular the chat window, is I haven't been able to manage the chat on OBS itself, because when I tried logging in, it just kept taking me to all these windows and all these pages that I couldn't get out of. So yeah, that is that. Aries. Do you know? I was funny enough debating on how long I could take the stream. It's so perfect. Do you know what? Oh no, it was clipped. Yeah, so that do you know what? I had a feeling that something like that was going to happen. Hang on, let's just get this. Absolute cinema. In Sammy's words. So yeah. But Aries, thank you so much for joining. But if you're joining up at a time, so it's literally 3 minutes to midnight. So, and I've been streaming for about like an hour and a half. So I'm just seeing how far I can take this stream, because I've been taking it for quite a while. So Aries, how have you been? Because I know that there's Okay, so I don't need to reset the microphone settings, which is good, because I just accidentally pressed the mute button on the microphone. But yeah, so Aries, I know that like, in fact, I got to keep an eye on the time, because there's one thing I do want to just keep an eye out before. So when it reaches, right, so we've got 2 minutes till midnight. So as we're entering the 1st of May, there is something I always do on the 1st of every month. So I want to keep track of when that does happen. But yeah, so Aries, you probably just joined in and probably wondering what the hell was going on. So what Trip captured was when I was trying to simulate Grandpa Harry in 20 years showing this scene. Well, and that's how they made the meme of me. Just, I'm hoping it doesn't end up becoming too much of this. Also, I have friends who begging me to do ASMR as well. Trip, I think you might have the equipment for it, because I know that you do. I know you do have a microphone because of one video that you made that I saw. But I kind of don't really want to talk about it, because I know that you it's a grey area. Aries, maybe. Hang on, let's just try this. Life's been interesting. Car currently away for service. Fixed a couple of teeth today, and been away from photography for nearly a year. Oh, yeah. So it's been. It look by the looks of it, it's been a very interesting month for the both of us, Aries. Because I know that I did a white rabbit, white rabbit, white rabbit. Okay, it's just reached midnight, and I just wanted to get that out of the way. So now that I've done that, I just hope that May will be a better month because because I've had to get my teeth sorted as well because I needed to see a hygienist. Aries, at some point, maybe after the stream, I will definitely have a minute because I can't. The system is a little bit awkward, so I can't really check messaging at the moment. But hang on, and now I'm gonna go. Bye. Goodbye, Damien Kurtz. Thank you so much for joining in. But yeah, in month as who's that? Okay. Hey there, Harry. Chalk. Oh, hi, Chalk. Thank you so much for joining in. So, for those who might not know, so Chalk is actually he's quite a convention regular, and he does so Chalk, I believe, is based in the south is based on the south of England. Is quite a regular at a lot of the events there, in particular like Sauce and Furs. So yeah, Chalk, thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, so Aries, definitely after the stream, I will talk to you about a lot of things. But with the I saw that you read your car currently being away for a service. Just curious, what actually happened to the Corsa? Because don't get me wrong, because I do actually like the look of that generation of Corsa. But from what I've read, Corsas are, in fact, how are you actually finding the insurance on that car? Because Corsas, I know, are expensive to insure, because of the type of people who do typically drive them. And there's a thing that the Corsa drivers are having to be wary of now, is the what's called the Corsa cannibals, and yeah, that's actually a thing that's happening. So what these people will do is they'll, just for context actually to what we're talking about. So the Vauxhall Corsa or the Opel Corsa, depending on where you are in the world, or probably if you're over in Australia, probably the Holden Barina. And I only know that just because I was out in a holiday in Australia for 2006. And the early 2000s generation Corsa was basically Australia's Holden Barina. Yeah, because there's a thing we have in the UK called Corsa cannibals, where there's Corsa drivers will just like will just steal already existing bits off of other people's Corsas, practically sometimes leaving the cars stranded, grounded, and just legally beyond any current use on the road. So that's not a pleasant situation to be in. But anyway, in terms of something else that was I've been away from photography for nearly a year. Yeah, because I noticed that it's been okay. Let's say I got very lucky with my. I got very lucky with my insurance. I know they have a rep for criminal assault. It was more than I had an issue with the coolant, so funders decided to give it a service. So it's nothing like too major, thankfully. Yeah, because I think that generation of Corsa, I have heard good things about the car itself, but it's for me just been completely ruined by the type of people who tend to drive them, and I don't think it's officially now the reason, but I did. Because I actually drove a Corsa. It was quite a sort of it was quite a newish model at the time, and it was the latest model at the time back in 2021 when I had it as a courtesy car because my Yeti needed fixed, because of a slight minor collision that it ended up being involved with. But the Corsa itself, in terms of the overall driving of the car and the way it handles, it was actually really good. It did feel a little, because of the type of car that I drive, it did feel a little bit weird being a little bit low down because of the size of the car. And the huge benefit now with that course as well is I really, really need this in my next car. I tell you what, having Apple CarPlay was such a game changer, and it just made something so much easier. And the other thing I also loved about having that is that if you have your phone connected to the system, because it has Apple CarPlay and Android and the Android equivalent. But with that, is when I park, sometimes I have a tendency to not remember exactly where I parked the car. And if I look on maps on my phone, Apple Maps will give the exact precise location of where I've parked the car if it's plugged into Apple CarPlay. So that is really what it is. So let's just see what Chalkers had to say. So, pleasure to be here, yes. My local beats are Southampton Furs, Bournemouth. No, sorry, Bournemouth Fur meets, usually the occasional burger, sometimes LFM and Portsmouth Fur. So yeah, that's So yeah, they're all quite southern, which is But yeah, hang on. They drive well, just hate my indicators. It's like, what the hell is up with the... Oh, is it just like the overall controls? Like, indicator, you can push the indicator once and it lasts 3 clicks, but have to push it in again to keep the indicator. I think mine's a bit like that as well. So let's say, okay. Actually, I think my TV remote, because it's a bit chunkier, it will just be... So let's say, for example, if I push it down, that indicates 3 clicks. Push it down again, and it blinks continuously. Like, for example, like the same way up. So, blink 3 times, and so for me it's like that. But I've been used to driving my car for quite a few years now. So it's just like, so just pushing it all the way down. Although it would be a bit weird if I went into a car that has that, so I'll probably try putting a bit of force onto it. Yeah, because I've never, I've never really known anyone having issues with their car indicators, other than BMW drivers. And if somebody in the chat does drive a BMW, you're probably going to try to God, I miss my good old 1999 Twingo. Oh, funny you say that, Zuka, because have you seen what Renault have you seen the new Twingo E-Tech that Renault have bring out? Because Renault have been doing this thing where they've been reviving classic car designs as electric. Yeah, I think Aries knows. Aries definitely knows. As soon as I said that, many people don't have a problem with the indicators. Aries, you knew. I think we may have talked about that a little bit, or maybe once or twice in the past. My dream car now is a Alfa. Ooh, tell you what, Alfa Romeos I've heard are very, very good. Because I know that one of my English teachers actually had one, and he got on really well with it. So the thing I was saying about the 1999 Twingo was that if you go on Google and search Renault Twingo E-Tech, it should come up. So, okay, look up 1999 Renault Twingo, and then probably pull in another tab that says Renault Twingo E-Tech. If you look at the Twingo E-Tech, it does bear a striking resemblance to the original 1999 model. Yes, I have, but nothing will ever beat that cute little metal ball with its puppy eyes. I can understand that. I can understand why you might feel it, but fair play to Renault though, because if you are going to revive a classic or retro car design, Renault for me has been setting the standard as to how you revive a car design. And it's not just the Twingo, because I think the pinnacle of this whole thing is look at the Renault 5, because they revived the Renault 5 to replace the Renault Zoe. And let me tell you, that design, I've seen quite a few of them in person, and that design bears so much resemblance to the Renault 5 and how it was in the 80s to the early 90s. Let's see what else I say. Because I think didn't you have that parked up at Paulson once? Because I think I might have had a bit of a good look at it. Because Vauxhalls, I know that people have had issues with in the past, and Vauxhall electric cars. Because here's the thing: as much as I really, really want my next car to be electric, but I might be a long way off because I still want to get myself a house. But realistically, the only thing I can see me actually helping me get a house and a more more economic car is my music, which I have been releasing a few stuff on Spotify every now and then, and other music platforms. Because the thing about platforms like Spotify is that they don't pay their artists well in comparison to like the Apple Music and some other streams, or just outright buying digital downloads of the music. So digital downloads tend to be the better way to support musical artists in comparison to streaming, which when you compare the two, it's quite minuscule. Yeah, with Renault, they to me have been setting the standard, like how you revive a classic car, not like what Ford are doing with the Puma. Like what they've done. They've done it with the Puma. They've done it with the. I'm trying to think what other. Okay, the only revival I can think they've done justice is the Explorer, but the Explorer was originally an SUV. But the biggest crime that they've committed was reviving the Capri in the way that they've done. They've revived the Capri as a electric crossover. So, Boomer, hello, thank you so much for coming in. Happy 6-year anniversary, thank you so much. Yeah, so the new Ford Capri goes against everything that the Capri originally stood for. Because if you think about it, the the idea of an all electric Ford Capri coupe car sounds very exciting. Ford had the perfect opportunity and they completely wasted it on that, which I'm still to this day very, very disappointed at. I saw somebody mention Kia. Okay, so Ride the Roller Coaster Park of 1994. I drive a 2014 green Kia Soul. Oh, Kia Soul, because I think my mother was actually looking into one of those and actually really like look, but unfortunately the Soul I think has been discontinued. Driving what what model are you driving at the moment? Because was it the early? Was it the Is it the mid 2000s Panda, or is it or is it the early 2010s Panda? Let's see. Let's just see. So, but Vauxhalls have one issue with condensation intentionally. During the service, we found that condensation managed to get into the oil tank. I mean, to be fair, that does actually make perfect sense, because with General Motors being an American brand, I think General Motors in general have a tendency to cut back on some corners when it comes to overall quality. I know Ford does, because I know people who have countless issues with Ford. I mean, because there's a list of, okay, for example, there are some manufacturers I will never ever have an electric car from. Okay, first of all, Tesla, which I think in itself should be self-explanatory, but even long before what a certain somebody was like, there were several countless quality issues that people have been having with their Tesla, and Elon Musk could just outright ban you from his Tesla chargers for any given reason or no justification whatsoever. Ford, I would never have an electric car from, because of just Ford problems don't go away with a Ford. Renault, as much as I like the Renault 5 and the Twingo, it's just that Renault have had a few okay, don't get me wrong, Renault have actually been renowned for making really safe cars, but in terms of the electronics and the technical side of things, that's when the reliability tends to not even be there. Benjamin, what was it that you asked? Because I think because of what's been because of the amount that's going on in the chat, I might have ended up glossing over that. So what was it you asked? Definitely fire it away again, so I can actually see it, because I might have missed it. So don't get me wrong. I started with the new Capri. Ford got that completely. Oh wait. Oh, don't get me started with the new Capri. So but yeah. So I think, who was it that asked about if it was a no? So what this is a dressing gown. It's very interesting, because it's not as stretchy as the previous one was, and it's Egyptian cotton, which is a bit annoying, because that's a bit. So let's just see. So don't get me wrong. The Capri was a sports car, not an SUV. Yeah. So I highlighted my point. So I'll tell you what. The only There are so I'm trying to think who else I wouldn't have. So I said Tesla, I said Renault, I said Ford. Um, Anything from General Motors, because General Motors, in terms of not so much the reliability of some of their cars, but also in terms of how General Motors is as a business operator. Um, I'm glad. I gotta say, yeah, we're in Tesla. I learnt in a 2019 Fiesta and genuinely loved it, but I heard that Fords have multiple issues, especially the EcoBoost models and the wet belts. Oh, yeah. Oh god, wet belts. I've been hearing so many horror stories about, and it's a thing that's in new cars where they, and also because of wet belts, um, I understand that they have their benefits, but wet belts have from what I've heard, they are very expensive to get fixed or replaced. And yeah, so yeah, wet belts are just not fun at all to deal with. Yeah, so let's see, somebody says I got a Cybertruck. Yeah, glad we don't have that horrible Cybertruck in the UK. Oh, there are some, there are some that do exist in the UK. It cannot officially be sold in the UK. Which, in fairness, because I think the Cybertruck is going to be one of those things that I think the Cybertruck is ahead of its time in terms of the overall design. I mean, because at the moment we're used to seeing vehicles like that as concept cars rather than actual production cars. And if you look at some of the stuff that's because Renault have been doing a lot of stuff in their concept work, but they would never ever sell it on the market because it would have to be classed. Just trying to hurt my hair's a little bit in front of my glasses. But with what Renault been doing with their concept cars, there's so much technology packed into them, and there's so much other concept cars, is that they'd never ever be released on the market without them costing hundreds of thousands of pounds, and they probably don't even comply with safety regulations because of the way the seating is, the lack of curtain airbags, the lack of airbags on the wheels, you name it. But yeah, with the Cybertruck, some people do have them, or well, very few actually, but they cannot use them on UK roads because if you've seen some American trucks, there is absolutely no way that those things would be allowed on UK roads. In fact, there's a video that somebody shared. I'll be a while here looking for it, but somewhere there is a video of a Lamborghini going through a car park, and a big American truck just drives straight over the top of it. And it's that bad that some of these trucks do need an additional camera on the very front of them so that you can actually see what's in front of you. And if you need something like that on your truck, I don't think that should be allowed on the road, like, at all whatsoever. No way. Yeah, because with the in fact, the other thing about the Cybertruck is that there was supposed to be a fail-safe system in there, so that if like there's a finger like between if there's a finger like between like the door and it closes on it, somebody was testing that and they nearly got their finger sliced off. Let's see, I've seen Cybertruck around and they're cool, just not something I would drive. To be fair, I don't think it's a bit of a grey area, but I think that with the way Tesla is and the person who's behind it, I could be here listing a lot of the issues why I would never support Tesla and why I would never support the man who oh, do you know what? I'll tell you what, I was thinking the other day. It's funny you say that. Um, although I have although I have sat inside a Nissan Figaro, which is pretty both inside and out, it happens to be the exact one used on the BBC. If anyone knows what I'm referring to, yeah. I know the exact show. Shall I just leave people hanging, or shall I name the show? Because well, there's two shows that particular Figaro has featured in. Oh, hang on, that's probably why I didn't miss it. So hang on. Oh, so that's why I didn't see. So please could you stop asking this? Zuko, if you could drop me a message of what Benjamin is asking, I'm curious because I can't actually see it in the OBS chat because and if I go on hang on, what was that? Hang on. Sorry, just hang on. Right, well that's interesting. I have no idea. Right, so I have no idea what that was. Benjamin, if Zuko says that if Zuko has said that it's something that's not appropriate for the stream, I'd rather leave it at that. But Zuko, if you could message me, Zuko, you've got my Telegram. If you could message me on there, let me know what Benjamin is asking. But Benjamin, I've not been able to see it. I don't know what it is that you're asking. So I can't comment on what it is unless it's it. See that's. Hey, what's that? Just let's see what. See, we'll text on Telegram. Okay, yeah. So that's in the chat. Okay, because I can't quite. Oh wait, there's something I do need to. There's a couple of things I do need to do actually. I'll have to do it on the. I'll have to do it on the browser because I. Let's see. So. Just want to double check. So, Aries, I hope you don't. Aries, I hope you don't. I hope you don't mind, but I've added you as a moderator. Just because the case of the more. Oh wait, okay, hang on. I just want to. So there's one thing I just need to do. So So I'm gonna upgrade you. Right. So. Zuko, you may have seen something that I may have removed you as a moderator, but what I have done is I have upgraded you from standard moderator to managing moderator. So if there's anything that you feel isn't appropriate, you can add that as a blocked word. Also, speaking of people who I don't trust, let's try adding. There's a couple more people who I do want to. Okay, yeah. So Sammy and Chalk. I hope I hope you're okay with this. I'm adding you both in as moderators as well, just for the sake of the more moderators I have on the stream, the better. Let's see what else that I've. So what is that I have missed? Off topic, because of the reflection, I just have a question. Does your glasses... Okay. Off topic because of the reflection, I just have a big question. Does your glasses have like the thing that makes people see better? So these actually don't. So what the thing is going on there? I get why you may think that just because of what I have inserted in there. Do you know what's funny? There is probably something out there, but because of how big the lenses would need to be, that would be very, very that would be very, very handy, but also very expensive. So what this is actually polycarbonates, and some people who make fursuit glasses, they do use either acrylic or perspex. The problem with those materials is that acrylic is can be prone to shattering and cracking. Perspex has very similar issues, whereas with polycarbonates, I've put this under so much things. Yeah, so I just felt like the more mods I do have in there, just taking care of what goes on in here, the better. Yeah, because with polycarbonates, unlike perspex, because here's the thing, what really annoys me is that people get perspex and polycarbonates confused, but the reality is that people might think that that's not that big of a deal, but not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna show you something, and you're not gonna like it. If you get that reference, um, but yeah, because the thing is with perspex is that there are certain engineering environments where that cannot be used for, whereas with polycarbonate, it's basically the equivalent of bulletproof glass. And there's certain environments and certain circumstances where I've used this stuff where it would have to take very, very, very hard hits. So polycarbonate I always use for these glasses purely because of just the overall strength and the overall principles of the material. So yeah, polycarbonate. Oh, I've just passed the 2 hour mark. Wasn't expecting it to go this long. I'll tell you what, guys. I'll probably go on for a few more minutes, and I'll probably call the stream there because I want to get myself showered and in bed, and I kind of want to help mess my sleep pattern. So as mentioned, they won't as they're yeah. So yeah. So they're practically prop glasses at the moment. Because you know what's weird? You know the amount of times of how long I've been wearing. It's a bit weird, you know, just looking back at old photos of me like this without the glasses. And if you know what, I feel partially, but also, I feel a little bit naked without the glasses. So me without the glasses, and me with them on. So I do feel that I wasn't quite sure how dog me would look with glasses on, but I have to say, I do feel a lot better and more, you know, because I feel a little bit, you know, geeky and dorky at the same time with these on, which is but also the frame itself. So the glasses themselves, I actually designed these myself. In fact, if anybody by any chance is after some glasses, I do. Oh god, that's tip of the iceberg when we're talking 80. So somewhere up there, I don't really want to get them up because of the thing I talked about of not showing the lower half of my body with the way my body currently is, because of complications with the thing that I was having going on. But I will be able to reveal more on that later. That's being resolved as we speak, but maybe that could be another stream on the table. So, how do you look with the? How do you look like? How do you look like with that attire? I kind of don't really want to talk. I mean, if you do want to get a taster, because all I will say is new Bodicinal. I will leave you with that. The glasses make you look more complete. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Marcus. But yeah. So with so you know, there was something else. Oh, does that promotion come with a raise in my salary as well? Let's talk business. Well, there's quite a lot of new ventures taken on, so maybe business course, but I'll tell you what would come in the salary is definitely a lot of hugs, snugs, and certain activities in between, especially when there's underwear involved. And you heard it here first, folks. Suzuko, I will promise you that the hugs, snugs in underwear will definitely come in the salary. You know what I just thought? What you need a scarf. You know what? Do you know what's funny? I did consider scarves for the winter because when it snows, I just thought that a scarf would look better, like in the winter. True, that would suit him amazingly. I would. You know what? It's funny you guys talk about you talk about scarves, but I was thinking about this like literally several months ago. Okay, I just saw Jasuko the deal, and the deal is sealed. And let me tell you, that is a very good deal indeed. Also Zuko, there is I'll tell you what, in terms of the salary, because there is I'm a bit debating whether or not. In fact, I'll message you about it, Zuko, because there's some in the drawer that I think would look really good on you that I will message you. But yeah, I'll be heading off soon. But when you message me, mate, just let me know. I'm curious with the teeth without sounding weird. And Aries has her own scarf. Take care, Aries. Thank you so much for joining in. In fact, I think you might be tuning out just as I might have to wrap this up in a little bit. Because it's midnight, and I really want to try and get in the shower as soon as I can. Otherwise, in fact, maybe I might have a bath. A blue scarf with a black is perfect for you, Harry. I was thinking I'll definitely look into different types of scarves, and I think I think the scarf might have to be a winter thing because in the summertime I don't really think the scarf would work. I do wear a bandana, um, which a lot of people have been giving a lot of praise for. Um, before I do, before I do end the stream there, um, did you get a text? I think I can't really comment that at the moment. Because I can't really check my Telegram at the moment. Well, I can, but OBS just gets a little bit awkward otherwise, so I won't know until after the stream. But in terms of but Benjamin, what I will just say is this: if it does end up being a question that you do end up asking, that might be a grey area or might not be appropriate for the stream. My only advice today would just be if it's said that it's not appropriate, I would ask that just please be respectful of that and make sure that okay. So because sometimes I've been in that vicinity because there are this would be years ago where I would ask a question, so then somebody would tell me it was like, hey, maybe it's best if you don't ask that, hey, and I'm just like I hold my hands up high and I'm like, shit, you're right, yes, I'm sorry. But yeah, if it's not appropriate for the stream, I think it's probably just best, just left. Some things are just better left unanswered. But night Aries. Hope your wings hope your wings will get you flying off safely. Thank you so much for joining in. So on that note, guys, I'm streaming for 2 hours and 8 minutes. So it might be a bit abrupt. So I might see if anybody else wants to fire something away because I've streamed a lot longer than I anticipated. Just 2 hours and 8. I was worried at first. Sorry, I was worried at first, because I was worried at first because I did get a little bit of dead air to start. Yes, Harry. Yes, Harry. I understand, and I will be respectful to your chat. Good man. Good to hear. But I was a bit worried at first because of the dead air, and then when I did promote it on my socials and a lot of other people started joining in, I'll tell you what, it has been a crazy stream, and I was on the fence of, because of the complications with the new body, do I actually do it tonight, or because I just thought, what, if I don't do it tonight and on the usual day, I probably won't get the chance to do it on another date. But you know what, I'm so bloody happy that I did the stream today on this special day. And with it being 6 years, hopefully there'll be many more years to come on this crazy adventure that this look has been taking me on. And so wait, so with the new body, I was gonna hopefully show it off soon, but there's a couple of complications that are being resolved as we speak, so I will reveal a lot more later on, hopefully at a later date. I will be graduating on May 17th. Congratulations on that, Benjamin, and not that far off. So now we are officially in May, and I think that's, just over 2 weeks away, so that's definitely something to look forward to, so very massive congratulations on that. But with me streaming for about, I kind of want to, what is the time? Oh my god, 33 minutes past midnight. So what I'll do is, I absolutely hate to end the stream so abruptly, but 2 hours and 10 minutes has actually been a very, very, very good run, and it's a lot longer than I anticipated given how the stream started. It got a little bit of a shaky, partial way through it, but it's been overall a really, really, really good stream. So to everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, and for those who have supported me on this incredible 6-year journey. Yeah, so whatever happens next, I am so eternally grateful for, and the opportunities and the directions that I hope to go in the future will just be incredible. But I'll leave you with that. I'll just get the ending screen at the ready. So the next time I will be live, will probably be on Twitch. I'll be streaming more Spyro. So if you aren't following me on Twitch and don't know, so I have started streaming on there over moment. It's at it's Harry Husky. It will be on my socials like my Twitter, my Blue Sky, and Mastodon. So you can check me out on Twitch if you want. I can't remember. I can't remember a year when the start was. No, I was I can't remember a year when the start wasn't shaking. The tech was big when. Oh god, yeah. So the tech on the Lenovo was being a little bit weird with the, the way OBS was working on it. But on here on the MacBook, it's actually been fine. So yeah. So I'm gonna have to end the stream there. Just thank you all so much for tuning in. I've loved this stream. I really, in fact, I go as far as saying the one I was most hesitant of, and the one that I was worried the most wasn't going to be a good one. I go as far as saying this is probably the funniest, most chaotic, and probably the best stream that I've ever done on this date, and the best stream that I've done to mark this occasion. So yeah, thank you all for everyone who came in and helped make this one, because without you guys, this simply wouldn't be the stream the way. Oh my god, Rafi! Hello, Rafi. Have you just tuned in? Because I think you may have just caught at me just as we were about to end. But yeah. So what is the yeah? So I'm gonna be blabbing on because it's nearly 1 o'clock in the morning. I might have to have a bath just for this night, so I don't end up waking the other person who is asleep and just jumped in. Yeah, but what the action that you've missed out on, it will hopefully be available to watch very, very soon. But it's been such a crazy stream tonight. But I'll have to leave it at that. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll wrap it up now because if I don't wrap this stream up now, I never will. But thank you all so much for watching, and good night and goodbye. Mwah.